Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is January 6, 2024, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because also, as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check out your financial advisor. Please check out your significant other and make sure trading is something that is actually suitable for you. All right, first one of the year. On this one, I'm actually going to give you a little explanation of what I have on the chart and what I'm actually kind of looking at with the stuff that I have on the chart. All right, on the first chart, on the quarterly chart here, I'm gonna just maximize these charts. On the quarterly chart here, I draw in my own kind of like supply and demand lines, and I call it, me personally, I call my stuff supply and demand. I don't call it support and resistance, and although it can be the same thing, it's just I prefer to go with the supply and demand. The pivot points on the quarterly chart are going to be yearly pivots. Yearly pivots is what I like having on this particular time frame. And all on the monthly chart, what I have here are quarterly pivots. On the quarterly pivots, that's what I have it on that time frame. The moving average that I have on this time frame is the 10 moving average. The 10 moving average I have, that is to help me identify technically if the market is above the 10, it is bullish. If it's below the 10, it is bearish, and all, technically speaking, and all. So that's pretty much it. And as you can see, all these lines that I have on it, they do carry over to all the time frames. So that's why I have them like that, and all for this particular item. On the weekly chart, I have the 50 and the 200. The only reason that I have these two on here because they have these 50 and 200 on the news and all the stuff that you see out there. To me, since the big money, maybe the big money does use these, I don't know, but I just throw them out there just to give you an idea where you can look at these and maybe based on some of the information that I am giving you to make up your own mind what's actually really happening in the market, even around these two moving averages and all. The pivots that I have on here are going to be monthly pivot on a weekly chart and all, and that's pretty much it on that. On the daily, it's a clean chart pretty much, other than my pivot lines. And on my pivots, all what I have on here for my pivots are my weekly pivots, and all on my daily chart is what I like. So pretty much that's what you see there. You'll talk about the IWM is one of these ranging stocks, and I'll talk about what Wally and I used to call a bouncing stock. This is definitely a textbook. It's a Wally textbook. Joke, Wally. Bouncing stock. Because I remember at one time he was talking about writing a book, and I think he did end up putting a little pamphlet, because that's one of the things when we was first getting in here, the people were telling us, you need to write a book. And I said, I ain't write no book. These days, right now, I probably could write a book and all, but this is one of the type of stocks that we were always looking at, and we always was trying to figure out when is it going to break that bottom, when is it going to break that top. But we realized that a lot of the times when they start these type of patterns, they end up staying in these type of patterns and stuff. So I'll just give you that little heads up on there. And one of my other rules that you'll hear me talk about when it comes to pivots, I'm just going to let me zoom in here on. Let's go ahead and zoom on. I start on this quarterly chart. Go ahead and get started a little bit here. Zoom in here because we'll see everything that we need to see here. On the pivots, you have your pivot line, your central pivot line. You have what is called a resistance 1, a resistance 2, and I have mine kind of color coded, and a resistance 3. Then you have what is called a support 1, a support 2, and a support 3. Pivots are built off of previous data, previous month, previous week, previous day, previous hour, previous minute, whatever type of pivots you actually are using, and that's why based on that previous data, this total range can be different from year to year, month to month, day to day, because it's all based on that movement of that previous data range. That's why you see that. That's the reason for that. But now let's get back to the weekly review. All right, what I'm seeing here on this quarterly chart is a harami. Harami is a red candle inside a green candle at a top, which is near a top and all. And you're kind of usually waiting for a confirmation candle before trading it back to the downside, or based on your plan, you trade it to the downside whenever your plan tells you it's okay to trade it to the downside. To the downside, you may already be in your trade, or you may be waiting to get into your trade, looking at lower time frames. But on this big time frame right now, we can see that we do have a bearish pattern forming in the right location, and we have to watch and trade accordingly. We are above pivot. One of the things I look at pivots, if I'm above pivot, I do kind of expect the market to stay above pivot. If I'm below pivot, I do kind of expect the market to stay below pivot. But at any time, at some time, it's more likely when it's below, it's going to go above. If it's above, it can actually go below. There's nothing concrete in here. It's just to give you some frame of reference of how to help you get into a trade, help you build an edge based on rules and strategies that you may come up with. And these are tools that I just like using. All right, let's go ahead and go down to the monthly picture and see what we see here. On this monthly picture, we are still seeing, this harami in the right location. This thing can continue to drop and come all the way down here to this 10. This thing can continue to drop and come down here to this pivot and bounce, or this thing can reverse right here, right now. Anything and everything can happen in the market, we just have to be aware of what we are seeing right now. Right now, what I see, I'm seeing a bearish harami being formed, and the thing is, we do have a little bit more room if it wants to drop before traders decide that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If it gets down to a pivot and bounce, or down to a moving average and bounce. Right now is nothing in what I can see to slow this thing down to the downside, other than who knows what trader out there who might decide this is a good bargain and push this thing back to the upside. But that's what I see here on this monthly picture right now. Let's go down to a weekly picture and zoom in on this weekly picture. Let me back up just a little bit. Here's this zigzag that I was talking about. This market went up a little higher, about as high as we had kind of expected. I didn't think it would break 210, and it didn't break 210 on this particular product. And it came down. That's why I had to get out of my position that I got out of, because once I saw it was turning over, I said, that's about it. I should be done, because it can take quite some time before it comes all the way down to where it's going to come down to, if it's going to continue going down before it goes back up. So again, that's why it gets to that point based on what you're trading. If you're trading options, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to be right. If you're trading stocks, there's other strategies that if you're going to continue to hold that stock, learn to sell calls or call spreads. Learn to get a little bearish in there with some options or something to help generate you some income while your position may be losing money, or you can buy puts, to help you make some money, or to put that stock to somebody while that position is losing money. No trade recommendation, just giving you some ideas of what you can actually do, if you really want to learn more about that type of stuff, contact me, contact us here at Right Side Trading, and we can help you with that. Again, now on the daily picture, as we can see here on this daily picture, this thing was really, really, really crazy. I know this was the day I got out when I saw we were underneath. We had started underneath pivot. I saw this doji, and then when we open up down here, it's time to get out. Just get out, Then because I knew this gap was down here, and it actually did come down here and look like it closed this gap. Right now, can the market comes down here to this demand level right here, where this big candle here shot up and out of there? I don't know, but this is what I see. This is what could happen. What I was expecting to happen has happened. This gap has been filled. The thing is now, we got a doji here, and it dropped down a little bit lower with another hammer here, another inverted hammer. But it's at the bottom. This could be getting ready to give us a reversal pattern, but we have to kind of wait and see. and all on this lower time frame that what I'm looking at. And that's all I really want to share. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys having a happy new year. Hope you guys have a prosperous new year. Even with this market starting down like it is at this time. But we got all year long to make this money up and make more money. So you guys have a great weekend. You guys have a great week. And I'll talk to you next weekend. Have a good one. Bye.